Absolutely. Let's move on to a fascinating game. We've had a lot of cappers in the chat talking about backing Syracuse here at the Carrier Dome. Duke 0-4, 0-4 in the ACC at Syracuse, 1-2, 1-2 in the ACC. This game pops off at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Duke opens up as 1-point favorites. Depending on where you shop, you can get them at a pick'em or you can get them at -2. This total opened up at 51. It's up to 53 at some books, especially the leading indicator books. Others are behind at 52 and 52.5. Take it away. Very interesting spot here. Duke, Syracuse.
Yeah, this is a winless Duke Blue Devil team on the road at the Carrier Dome. And as you said, the Orange are 1-2 so far this year. And despite what I heard you say with the majority of people being on Syracuse, I'm actually on Duke in this game. And if you put it in the simplest form, why is a winless team favored on the road against a conference foe? Granted, it's only a point or two, but you said it's up to, you're starting to see -3s. So, the money's obviously coming in on Duke in this game, at least in the last day or so. But that's the first thing that hit me with this game, and any game I see where it's a winless team or a team that has 1 win and 8 losses going against a 5-5 team, for example, and they are favored. It always sticks out to me because you've been, based on record, Syracuse is better because they have 1 win, and Duke doesn't have any. So looking at the machine learning stuff here. There is support for the defense of the Blue Devils to perform very well in this game, at least better than their averages or better than what is expected. They are 45-22 against the number over the last 10 years when they have held an opponent to between 100 and 150 rushing yards. So that's not suggesting that they're just going to shut down Syracuse's rushing attack, but they're going to cap it at 150. So any number below 150 rushing yards allowed by Duke is a favorable situation to win the bet. Also, they're going to allow 300 to 350 total yards of offense by the Syracuse Orange. In that situation, Duke is 4-2 against the spread the last 3 years. Not many times has that happened. But over the last 10 years, they're 30-12 against the spread and have covered the spread in those games by an average of 8 points. So when I look at those numbers and it's covering by an average of 8 points, and that also includes the 9 losses too, that's almost giving you a free touchdown. If they attain that performance measure of keeping Syracuse under 350, it's like getting an extra 7 points in your hand based on the historical results. So the last one is that I think Duke's offense is going to outgain the Syracuse offense. So the machine learning projections at the summary level call for them to outgain them by at least half a yard per play. And as you know, Jimmy, I love the yards per play, points per play. It just shows offensive efficiency, defensive efficiencies, or inefficiencies, and they're very important in handicapping. When Duke has outgained their opponent by 5 or more yards per play, they are 22-5 against the spread over the last 10 years, and of those games when they're on the road against a conference foe, they are 8-0. So when I get stuff like that, that kind of seals the deal on who I like. So based on that, I like the Blue Devils here to win this by 7 points or more.
Is this a spot where you would sell points, or is this a spot where you would just take the money line?
I usually don't like playing money line on favorites, Jimmy. Where I like playing the money line is taking an underdog of, say, let's just use an example of 10 points, where I'll split the wager between 50% on the betting line, 50% on the money line, getting that plus 200 or 250. It gets a little less rewarding to split a bet using a favorite, because if they don't win, then you're paying that extra, that extra vig.
But Duke -1 is -110. Duke money line's -115.
In this case, then it makes no difference. You're right.
Yeah. So I was just wondering, because this is one thing that we see a whale capper do in NFL is sell points. If you think they're a possible 7-point favorite, let's just, out of curiosity, I'd be interested to see what we'd get here. And let me see if I can pull it up. Here we go.
I think there's like 4.5 or 6.5.
The Duke -6.5 is +170. Might not be enough. -4.5 is +137. Might not be enough.
Yeah, I agree. That doesn't really make sense to me to do that. I was expecting you to say closer to +300, to be honest with you, on the 6.5. Well, not 300, but more like 225.
Yeah, I agree. I was surprised that.
Yeah, that is a little.
-1.5 is +100. So -1.5 at least gets you into the plus line. Dennis Garcia says, I prefer to lay the one. Why spend the extra juice? Worst you can do is push.
Yeah.